Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I'm going to be talking about the third eye chakra, which a lot of people know is on the forehead. Many people think it's about this space, but it's actually closer to the middle of the eyebrows and just above the bridge of the nose. But of course, it covers this whole area. And this area is very much about insight and wisdom and intuition. So I thought I'd share this quotation with you, which was by Sri Ramana Maharshi. This quotation says, "When we turn the mind inwards, God manifests as the inner consciousness." When we turn the mind inwards, God manifests as the inner consciousness. Now remember, here is God, which is also known as the universe, which could be Christ consciousness, could be seen as our higher awareness. Source, any of these terms is representing the same idea. And when we do direct our energy to this space, this is the function of this space. So it actually combines with our intellectual powers with energy from the universe to give us deeper insight, deeper meaning, deeper awareness. And often that deeper awareness is about transcending what's known as the duality of life. So the duality of human existence, I think you know that I've actually mentioned this a few times, but duality is about light and dark, hot and cold. So this is the duality that we experience in life, good and bad. And this is important to recognize that there is something that transcends all of that. So, when you can look at a situation, you can see the good in it and the not so good in it. And when you can see both of those, that's you transcending that basic awareness. So the basic awareness, if something happens to yourself, you might be very quick to think, this was so good that happened. And other times it's like, this is so not good, right? Whereas when we're just a little bit above that, we can actually see that even when something is really good, that will change. And even when something is not so good, that will change. That's duality, and that is constantly changeable in our worlds. It's interesting. I had heard about this whole idea of light and dark. And when we think about the sun, so we think, the sun rises, sun sets, and we use this terminology when in fact we all know that the sun is not rising, right? It's not, the sun is there and the earth is turning, right? So when the sun sets over here, it's rising somewhere else, right? So we can understand that duality, that our perception of what's happening here is that the sun has set, yet we feel that it's rising somewhere else, where really it's us that are moving, right, on the earth. So this was very interesting to me. And I thought it's important for people to understand some of the things that can happen when the third eye chakra is not so fueled, not so clear, not built. And remember that we needed all of the energies from previous chakras to be helping build this space too. So I wanted to make sure that you know that one of the things that comes up when I had looked into what are the things that arise when people's third eye chakras are not so balanced. And literally, this whole concept of living in the experience of our unconscious behavior that most of us are starting to become aware of right now, of living the daily grind every day, getting into work or going to work or sitting at home and doing work, and then ending the day, eating, sleeping, and not really being conscious of our day-to-day experience. So even moment-to-moment experience, right? So being in the now, that present moment experience, that is a symptom of this third eye also not being so clear. So it's interesting that if you notice that you are able to get to an end of the day and think, how did that day go? Which I think we've all been there. You recognize that you haven't been living moment to moment. You haven't been appreciating the great things that are always happening. What we do notice are the things that are not happening so well. One of the things is the idea of spirituality compared to science, and both of those can integrate very nicely. But there will be people who are really working on whether yoga or meditation, and there's a clear differentiation between, I don't believe in spirituality. I mean, that's fine. I mean, yeah, there's energy in the body. I can believe that. I mean, I feel that that can be even scientific. Like that's been measured. Like there's energy in an atom, so I can think of it that way. But spirituality, which is beyond the human mind concepts, is a space that's not very describable. So when people are feeling comfortable or clear in this space, they can understand that it's an experience or uh, awareness that really defies words. It's not really explainable. When people are connected to the space, they might see visions that are not easily describable. They might be clairvoyant. They might have dreams or images of things that are happening or have happened. They might have messages, and all of these things sound so vague and blurry, right? And some people who are receiving those sorts of insights and intuitions are not clear about what exactly am I supposed to learn from this. And the fact is it's only the human mind that wants to figure out, what do I need to learn from this? In the clear third eye chakra, there's no goal to get to. There's no, and for this, I'm meditating. For this, because I'm trying to achieve this, I'm meditating. It's just to be present, to just have an awareness and understand that whatever needs to transpire in your life will happen. So that trust and faith also comes from this space. The other thing is recognizing that the third eye is also connecting to deeper inside the head. So as I'm pointing, if we were looking straight down to about behind this spot, imagine a spot that's joining from our eyes into a point just behind the eyes. That spot is very related to the pineal gland, which has a lot to do with sleep as well. So even sleep is related to a healthy third eye chakra. So if sleep is restful and easy, it's very related to this area being well balanced. If it is filled with dreams or restlessness, it's related to an awareness that this is not such a balanced spot for you. So I thought I would make sure that you note that. In terms of course, if this is a space for clarity and wisdom and insight, if there's any fuzziness around your life purpose, your own direction, whether it's what to do today, even if it's only planning your meal for today, there is a lack of clarity in what you're doing and why. So sometimes it's just easy to sit down and maybe write down 3 things of, what is the reason that I do the things that I do? What is my goal that I'm trying to achieve? What is drawing me to be the best of me? This would be a third eye process. So, of course, people might think about these things and just have vague awarenesses. But I'd love if you sit down for 5 minutes and just write down 3 things that this is important to me in my life, and this is what all my thoughts, words, and actions are directing me to. So that was important, I thought, because I've mentioned Eckhart Tolle so many times, I'd share a quote from him too. And this quote says, "To be conscious of being, you need to reclaim consciousness from the mind. This is one of the most essential tasks on your spiritual journey." And this is the thing, right? So the mind behaves a little bit different than the spiritual aspect that we can get from this space. And I thought, well, maybe people will think this is all very fuzzy and hazy. So I thought I'd again bring up a quotation that is from someone that many people revere as quite scientific. And he was also quite spiritual. So this is a quotation by Albert Einstein. And this quotation, and it's written really small, so I'm going to have to bring it a little bit closer here, says, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." Let me read that again. "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." The gift is this connection with a higher source of knowledge, wisdom, power, insight, peace. So I would love for you to think about those things today and to contemplate and write 3 things that is part of your greater purpose in life, the things that you are certain that this needs to be part of your journey. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.